There is something Sagittarius will never do. They will never make a scene. They will never beg. And they will never chase someone who has already begun drifting away. But one day, without warning, without drama, without a single goodbye, they will simply stop coming back. And the unsettling part is that you may not notice it happening. Everything may still look the same. Conversations may still happen. Life may appear normal on the surface, until one day you reach for them and realize the warmth is already gone. This is the quiet exit of Sagittarius. And once you understand how it works, you begin to see that it was never sudden at all. Most people misunderstand Sagittarius completely. They see the laughter, the independence, the love of freedom, and they assume Sagittarius must be emotionally light. Someone who never stays too deeply connected. But that isn't who Sagittarius truly is. When Sagittarius loves someone, they don't just love the person standing in front of them today. They love the future that person might grow into. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, the planet of expansion, vision, and possibility. And when that energy turns towards someone they care about, it doesn't just focus on the present moment. It focuses on what could become possible together. Sagittarius sees potential where others might only see flaws. They see growth where others might see limitation. They believe relationships should expand, evolve, and move forward into something greater. That belief makes Sagittarius far more patient than most people realize. They will give chances. They will try to understand. They will keep hoping things can improve long after others might have already walked away. But patience is not the same thing as endless tolerance. And before Sagittarius becomes emotionally done, there are usually signs. The problem is that they are quiet signs, and many people dismiss them without understanding what they mean. Sagittarius does not begin with anger. They begin with questions. Why does this keep happening? Do you understand how that made me feel? Can we talk about what's really going on here? These questions are not accusations. They are invitations. When Sagittarius asks questions like this, what they are really saying is something much deeper. They are saying, I still believe in us. Please show me that belief is not misplaced. Sagittarius values truth more than almost anything. Honesty is the foundation of how they connect to people. If the other person listens, takes responsibility, and genuinely tries to change, Sagittarius will often stay. Their natural instinct is always to believe that people can grow. But if the same patterns repeat again and again, something inside Sagittarius slowly begins to shift. They begin to notice that their optimism is no longer inspiring change. Instead, it is simply being taken for granted. And that quiet realization is where the emotional turning point begins. But the real shift hasn't happened yet. Because when Sagittarius finally reaches the moment of emotional detachment, it rarely arrives the way people expect. There is no explosion, no dramatic confrontation, no storm that announces the ending. Instead, a far quieter begins to happen. Sagittarius starts withdrawing their emotional energy. Not their presence, at least not immediately. They may still show up. They may still respond to messages. They may still be physically present in the relationship. But something invisible has already begun changing. The deep conversations that once flowed naturally start staying closer to the surface. The vulnerability Sagittarius once offered freely becomes more careful, more measured, more guarded. And the emotional energy they once poured into the relationship begins moving somewhere else. Toward friendships, toward personal goals, toward creative ideas, travel plans, ambitions, and the parts of life that still feel alive. This is not revenge. It is not manipulation. And it is not a test to see whether the other person will notice. It is something much quieter than that. Sagittarius is beginning to grieve the future they once imagined with you. And grief, for Sagittarius, is a private thing. They rarely announce it. They rarely explain it out loud. Instead, it unfolds slowly through those small shifts in energy that most people fail to recognize. And this is why the final moment can feel sudden to everyone else. Because by the time Sagittarius reaches it, they have already been processing the ending for a long time. Most people expect the end of a relationship to arrive like a storm. With Sagittarius, there is no storm. One ordinary day, they simply arrive at a clarity they cannot ignore. They realize they have already explained their heart. More than once. They have given chances, not out of weakness, but because they truly believe things could grow into something stronger. They have held on to hope far longer than most people would. And then quietly they stop. Not out of anger, not out of bitterness, but out of acceptance. This is the moment the emotional door finally closes. And what makes it so final is that by the time it happens, Sagittarius has already done their mourning. The grief came earlier, during all those quiet withdrawals. The door does not slam shut. It simply finishes closing. Sometimes the other person realizes this moment too late. They apologize. They promise change. They say the things Sagittarius once needed to hear. But Sagittarius no longer reacts to those words the way they once did. Because the hope that kept them emotionally open has already disappeared. And without hope, there is nothing left to rebuild. This is something many people misunderstand about Sagittarius. They often say Sagittarius is afraid of commitment, that they run from emotional depth. But the truth is almost the opposite. Sagittarius is deeply committed to growth. They believe relationships should move forward together, becoming something larger and more meaningful over time. What Sagittarius cannot survive is stagnation. The feeling that a relationship has stopped expanding and started slowly suffocating the spirit inside it. When Sagittarius walks away, they are not abandoning someone they cared about. They are choosing to keep becoming the person they are meant to be. They are choosing a future that is honest over a present that has stopped growing. And once Sagittarius has made that choice, once they have turned their face toward the horizon of a new life, they rarely look back. Not because they are cold, not because they never cared, but because Sagittarius understands something very deeply. Some doors close quietly so that new paths can finally open. And Sagittarius has always been a sign that moves toward the horizon. So if you have ever loved a Sagittarius and wondered where they went, the truth is that it probably wasn't sudden. It was the result of many quiet moments where they hoped things would be different. Many conversations where they waited to see change. Many chances given because they truly believed the future could still grow into something better. When Sagittarius finally leaves emotionally, they are not trying to punish anyone. They are simply protecting what remains of their belief in something more honest. And once Sagittarius begins walking toward a new horizon, they rarely stop. Because for Sagittarius, the future has always been where life truly begins. If you are a Sagittarius, or if you have experienced this quiet ending yourself, leave a comment and share your sign. And if you want to explore the deeper emotional patterns written in the stars, subscribe to Druidshaven. Because sometimes the most powerful truths in astrology are not the loudest ones. They are the quiet patterns we only recognize once we finally understand them.